Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol, Issue 2, Von Ryan Leapers. Okay, starting off, we're going to be grabbing Rakarth Flesh to put this down in 2 layers for full coverage over the entirety of the mini. Make sure we get all the little nooks and crannies. Bugman's Glow is next up. We're going to be using this to tackle all of the little fleshy bits in between. I guess it'd be kind of like the little visible muscles and little joints, knuckles, everything like that. Pink Horror is up next, targeting and selecting all of these small little inner pieces on the arms and legs. Next up, we're grabbing Bagman.Crimson, doing an all over wash of all of these areas we've just painted. Once that's dry, we're moving back in with Rakarth Flesh and just re-establishing this color across the entirety of the white areas or the pale areas. I like to do this quite quickly with little scratchy motions. We're not going for uniformity here. Now with Pallid Witch Flesh, just going through doing more highlights now. Just picking out the raised areas or anything that's more upward facing, as we don't want to get into any of the recess areas and disturb the Bagman.Crimson that's giving us wonderful depth. And now with Bugman's Glow, we're doing the same thing again, but this time with these little fleshy bits. Now for our first proper highlight with Cadian Flesh Tone on these sections, it's picking out all of the sharper points. Obviously we're just wanting to do a little bit of coverage over the previous layer of Bugman's Glow. We don't want to completely overwhelm and take away from that. And now with Flayed One's Flesh, this is our final highlight layer on this section. Now we're moving on to Nagaroth Knight. This is going to be our base layer for the entirety of the carapace armor. Just taking your time, as obviously we don't want to be getting any of this onto the previous finish layers that we've put down. Up next, Diabolic Plum, one of my favorite paints. It just looks so bloody good. Just making your way around, picking out the higher points. Obviously with this as well, we're going to keep a lot of the previous layer in the deeper areas, as we won't be putting down any form of shade. And now with Warlock Magenta, just doing the same thing, just covering a little bit less than we did in the previous pass. And now with Spellbound Fuchsia, this is our last highlight color for the carapace. Making your way around, picking it all out again, just wanting to go for, I guess, more straight lines with this kind of section. Just wanting to hit the really prominent raised areas to bring it all together. And now with Abaddon Black, we're going to start the cleanup process, just going around cleaning up all of the claws, the hooves, and the spiky impaling bits, which I don't know what you'd actually call. I'm sure they have a proper name. Now with Contrast Volupus Pink, just going and putting this very liberally, nice and thick, across all of the little tentacles writhing around his face. Another contrast and a nice little hack is just dropping a little bit of this over the eyes, and they are done. Now moving on with Galvorback Red, just going to be applying this across the top section of the front claws and the big scythes that he's carrying. Now you don't want to go all the way down. I'm only going about halfway down the black. and this will be very important for the transition with corn red. Now we're just covering less of the area than we just previously did, and this is already starting to give us a really cool effect in transition. Now with Wild Rider Red, come through and just doing a very quick edge highlight here, just picking out the most raised prominent points. It's easiest to just hold the brush sideways as I'm demonstrating here, and just running it along the top. Now with Art Coat, just putting some of this across the fleshy tendrily tentacles. And lastly, Thunderhawk Blue, just giving a quick edge highlight to all of the black areas, just for some variation. And we are done. Issue 2 completed. Well, you have to do it 3 times, but still, pretty quick and easy. Thank you for joining me on this hobby journey. We're rapidly flying through towards our 500 subs goal. Once that is reached, I'll be doing a giveaway of 1 Combat Patrol box, either just as is or painted up, entirely down to whoever wins it what they would like. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.